Frumess talks about Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Let's all talk about Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
Evil Toons from 1992, directed by Fred Olen Ray. This is I think this was put out by Empire or Full Moon. It stars Dick Miller, David Carradine are both in this film, as well as the director himself. Evil Toons. First they undress you, then they possess you. 4 sexy young girls are to clean an old house for the new owners. They get delivered an old book full of magic incantations, and while reading it, they accidentally bring a cartoon character to life. The cartoon character likes the blood of young girls. I don't know how else to say this, but Evil Toons features a cartoon wolf that basically essays that RAPES's the main character girl and possesses her. Yes, that actually happens in this movie. You know, the movie was made for $125,000 and it was shot in 8 days, and it's it's an impressive movie, like in that sense, like not the subject matter, but just that the fact that the filmmaker was able to make this in 8 days in the 1991. All right, think about this. 1991 for $125,000 with both Dick Miller and David Carradine in it, who at that time were pretty, they were, small character actor, B-roll sort of, actors. But he was able to, get some names in the movie and do all of this at that time. I mean, that's like nothing. It's really, really impressive. The movie is just absolutely ridiculous. Four girls talk about gratuitous nudity. I mean, there are just scenes that are just, there's nothing more than just, hey, we're just going to take off our shirt. And mind you, probably 15-year-old me would have loved Evil Toons just because, my 2 prerequisites back in the day were, what is the gore situation and is there nudity? And I think we all cared about that. But, today that's not really that important. You kind of get a David Carradine. You could tell he worked one day on this movie. He was there for one day, and it's just a bunch of scenes of him lurking by a tree. That's it. It's just David Carradine lurking by a tree. He unalives himself at the beginning, and we get this weird out of place explanation around the book, which features this cartoon that's supposed to be an ancient book, and yet at the same time it's just a ripoff of the Necronomicon. It's a talking book. It's funny because this was a talking book, and right around this time Army of Darkness came out and had a very similar kind of vibe to their Necronomicon, although they don't call it the Necronomicon in this one. And yeah, all the girls were porn stars, and that's why they were hired, because they would have no problem with taking off their clothes. Dick Miller's in it a bunch. Dick Miller's fun. I love Dick Miller. Anybody knows Dick Miller. He's in everything. He's in every Roger Corman movies. Probably the big one is Bucket of Blood from 59, which he's watching in this movie. He's watching himself in Bucket of Blood and wondering why this actor never got an Oscar. So I thought that was kind of funny. Again, the fact that they had animation, they were doing like Roger Rabbit styled cartoon animation in a movie that cost $125,000. That's what makes it impressive. But of course, instead of doing something interesting, what are they going to do? What do they have time to do? They end up, creating assault, if you know what I mean, that kind of assault in this movie. And yeah, I don't know. There's really not much to say about it. I mean, it's really goofy. The girls do a lot of it almost feels like the girls are emulating the Three Stooges in a haunted house style setting. All Empire and Full Moon films, they always take place in one location with some element that involves either puppets or animation of some kind, because, then you don't have to pay actors, and, you fill out your 80-minute movie. Boom, you got an 80-minute movie. Good to go. And I think Evil Toons kind of fits in with that. And like I said, the monologue by David Carradine at the end, like his explanation, like we don't even need this explanation. Like after everything is said and done and the evil is vanquished, like there's literally no reason to explain what just happened. And yet David Carradine goes on this long ass tirade as to what happened, why things happened, and how he was like very naughty guy. He was a naughty guy who was into a lot of mischief. I don't know. So goofy. So goofy, Evil Toons. I gave it 2 stars out of 5. It's streaming on Freevee on Amazon Prime. So check it out if you're down, if you're interested, if that's what you want to do, if that's how you want to roll.